October 19th, Black Monday on Wall Street. We'll be talking a little bit later with Max Zemplin about what's happening on the street. But now our special guest is Dr. Patrick Moore, a psychiatrist and anesthesiologist. Dr. Moore, Patrick, nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Pat was on our show about 8 months ago, and he had visited the Soviet Union and had cut a record in the... Now, how did that come about, Patrick?
No, boy, that's hard to explain, Art. It came about, I wrote the song shortly before I went over. I had always, like you and many other people, have great concerns about world peace and what's going to happen here. And I had written to the Soviet government and asked their permission to perform in the Soviet Union. And since the nature of the song was to some extent Christian, to some extent American,
yes,
to some extent, you know, what my belief system is, I didn't expect them to give me a chance to make a recording in the Soviet Union. But you got
a letter back saying, come on down, or?
No, what actually happened is I heard from the Red Chinese, and they invited me to Washington.
You wrote to the Russians and you heard from the Chinese?
See, I was going to both Russia and China.
Okay.
And the Chinese called me immediately and invited me to Washington, D.C., to the embassy to talk with them. And so I met with them and was very enthusiastically received.
Yes.
Did not hear from the Russians. But when I was in the Soviet Union, I was given a chance to do the recording in the studio, and so I did it. And I was just amazed that they allowed me to do it.
Now you take time out from your practice because you are so concerned with this issue of understanding, mutual understanding between all peoples, and specifically between those of the Soviet Union and America, because we are the two superpowers of the world, and a lack of real understanding could be devastating, not only for our own people, but for all of humanity, because the planet's getting smaller each year.
That's right. You know, I'll say I and you and millions of other people are concerned, and it's really inspiring to see that the communications industries have put together these communication links, you know, between the United States and the Soviet Union, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this song. And this is what's happening, in fact, is more and more peace groups, more and more religious organizations are taking an interest in the song, more radio stations are playing it, and I believe what I would like to do and to see happen is to present a vision to the world, if you will, of a world at peace. And that's what the song is all about.
Well, here is your hit single, made in the U.S., USSR, and a beautiful photograph of you in, it looks like, Hawaiian outfit with dark glasses with two Soviet military types. I wonder if we can get a close-up of that. And it's amazing how closely you resemble one of our crack producers here, Ron Petke. Let's see if, there it is. There it is. And that's you right off Red Square in Moscow.
Right.
And you brought along a clip, actually a recording of your song with some slides that you took in China and the Soviet Union.
Yeah, right. This is a music video to go along with the song, and this will be the first time it's been on the air in America.
Oh, so this is not only a recording, but a music video of Patrick Moore's Made in the U.S., USSR. It's our first for Patrick, and certainly our first here on We the People for the first public showing of a music video. So let's look and listen.
Never saw your face, I never knew your name, I never touched the kingdom from which you came, never had a chance to see the other side, born as enemies to fight until we died, but now it's suicide, yes it's suicide, foolish, foolish pride, it's really suicide. Born into a game that never made much sense, creating war machines, no thought of consequence. Surely someone's kidding, this must be a joke. Any second now, We could be up in smoke, we could be up in smoke. What a dirty joke, there can be no hope, burning up in smoke. Do you brainwash children, persecute the Jews? Will Afghanistan be your Waterloo? We had our Vietnam and we paid the price. Now is it die in hell or build a paradise? Building paradise could be very nice. Melting Cold War ice could be paradise. Is it impossible for us to get along? Prefer annihilation to ping pong as the Cold War final locks into checkmate. Hear the New Age anthem, cooperate, participate, appreciate, communicate, and keep it straight. Participate, appreciate, and celebrate, and celebrate. I never saw your face, I never knew your name, I never touched the kingdom from which you came. Never had a chance to see the other side. Born as enemies to fight until we died, but now it's suicide. Oh yes, it's suicide. Foolish, foolish pride. It's really suicide.
Lyckan är kort, salig är den som vill skänka den bort.
Well, that was beautifully done, Patrick. And I visited the Soviet Union when I was in college, and it's very exciting to see those scenes. And when you recorded this about a year ago, I mean, glasnost and openness was really just starting.
Yeah, really, the Chernobyl disaster kind of really impacted the situation, because at that time Gorbachev or the government was unable to deny what had happened, and it was a big breakthrough.
Yes.
And I was over just shortly after that.
Yes.
So.
Did you feel comfortable recording those kinds of lyrics in the Soviet Union?
Oh no, I didn't feel comfortable at all. I figured what was going to happen. I figured the worst thing that would happen would be that I would be sent to Siberia. And I figured the best thing that would happen is that I'd be able to bring the song back here, and people like you here in California would listen to what it was saying, and then that hopefully I could get it on Radio Free Europe
Yes.
and send it back to them.
Well, now it's no longer quite so shocking, but I remember you were our guest in the late fall or early winter last year, and it was really quite revolutionary to have this kind of music actually being performed in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and I hope that things keep going in that direction.
Now, if some of our viewers might want to get a copy of the record or radio stations, where would they contact you?
Well, anyone is free to write to me at Patrick Moore, Post Office Box 1116, New Albany, Indiana 47150. Any radio station that would be interested in playing the record will send a free copy to. Anyone that would like to have a copy, it would cost $3.50 to send it.
Yes. You are obviously very committed, Patrick, to this cause, and do you see gradual cause for optimism in the increased communication between our countries?
Oh yes. One thing about human nature is that people never change, or usually people don't change until they absolutely have to.
Yes.
It's kind of like when I was in the Soviet Union, a friend of mine, we couldn't read the Russian, and he got off and on the subway several times. And as he was getting back off, he got his arms caught with a bag, and the subway shut.
Yeah.
And then just as the train was taking off, a bunch of Russian people jumped up and jerked the doors open. And so it's only when things get right down to the wire that the breakthrough can occur. And I think that we're coming down to the wire here. I think that a lot of people feel that. And now is the time to express a hope and a vision, of world peace. I believe that this is the tradition of America.